Hey, what's going on, fellow Retro Bros, WWE Universe? How you doing tonight? How you feeling? Feeling oozy? I'm definitely feeling oozy. Ready to rock and roll here? Welcome to Retro Bros YouTube channel, and welcome to Retro RawDown episode 14. For those of you who are new to this channel or tuning in for the first time, what we do here on Retro Rawdown is we go over thoughts, reviews, opinions, and match results from the past week's Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, and any other news we may have read on the internet or from friends and family, all wrestling news within a week. In that sense, I would like to start off by adding some personal wrestling news of my own. To start off, I am actually in countdown mode right now. I am counting down 4 weeks from now, as I will be attending a WWE Monday Night Raw house show right here in Toronto on Saturday, December 30th, as part of the WWE Holiday Tour. For those of you who may not be familiar with what a house show is, basically a house show features superstars from either Raw or SmackDown or sometimes NXT. And it's basically a non televised live wrestling event. Of course, not necessarily a pay per view or premium live event, but again, it's basically just a non televised live event, and usually occurring on either Saturday or Sundays, or even sometimes other days during the week. So again, I will be attending a Monday Night Raw house show in about 4 weeks' time. So that means, unfortunately, I will not be here on Retro Rawdown, but hopefully my Retro Bros podcast partner CJ will be. Unfortunately, once again, he's missing out in action, so I will be gracing you all with once again match results, reviews, thoughts, and opinions on this past week's action within WWE. And also, what I to with either well. Also, if you're new to this channel or tuning in for the first time, and you like what you see, and you've of our other videos, and think you may be interested, hopefully you are interested, move your cursor up in YouTube to the subscribe button, and we will welcome you with open arms and add you all on to our already 101 subscribers, or 101 Dalmatians, and we'll all give you a big thank you. Yes, we will, definitely. And once again, I'd like to personally thank my fellow Retro Bros podcasters, Frank and CJ, in getting this channel up and running, and making it really, really awesome to get in on what's new and exciting, and give us all a chance to muster in, uh, um, like oh my, I lost my chain of thought. Just just enjoy whatever thoughts and if we may have this past week's shows. So, like I said, usually here on Retro Rawdown, we would just go over Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. But what I'm going to do actually is for this portion, I'm actually going to throw in not necessarily like move by move, but I'm going to say just some short opinions to how Saturday's premium live event. Now, so I was rookie at checking out war games matches. Oh, it looks like I have a viewer here. Hi, viewer. How you doing, viewer? Welcome, whoever you are. And yeah, shout out to my previous viewer. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go match by match here on Survivor Series and just throw in my. I'll try to keep it short and sweet when it comes to opinions. So the first result here we have here is the women's War Games match, and as I said before, I was a rookie in checking out War Games matches. I was not fully aware of how it goes or how it works. But as the night was going on, I got more and more familiar, and I understood how the War Games matches worked. And anyone who's watching, if you want to leave comments in the comments section, let me know what you thought. Were you familiar with War Games, or were you a first timer like myself? So again, the way the war games worked is that it was sort of like a traditional Survivor Series elimination tag match where you have teams of. Oh, hello, Devin Azim. Welcome. Do you think Jake Paul minds well should sign with WWE one day because he already in it for a second time? There's another Metro Smith, Jake Paul. Oh yeah, Jake Paul. That's Logan Paul's brother. Well, you know what? To be honest with you, Devin, honestly not because I mean it was enough that Logan Paul signed, but and Logan Paul really didn't do much for me. I mean, his training regimen and him getting prepared, especially for his match with Roman Reigns. I believe that was at Crown Jewel. Um, what his training was amazing, but he really didn't do much for me for the short time that he showed up in WWE programming. So to have his brother Jake Paul sign wouldn't do much for me. As far as I'm concerned, Jake Paul can to stick to boxing, for all I care, right? So yeah, that'll be all right. Okay, so again, the way the war games worked was that it was two teams of five competitors each team, and the one member of each would start out, and then about 3 minutes in, was that? That's kind of funny if Jake switches boxing to wrestling. Well, yeah, it would be funny because Logan did the same thing. So it would look kind of strange, but again, it was enough that Logan came in, so we wouldn't really need Jake to come in. So no, not necessary. And it was teams of five, and one member of each team would start the match, and then after about 3 minutes or so, a new member of the advantage team would join, and in the women's match case, if I remember correctly, it was Bianca's team. So for most of the match, Bianca's team had the advantage, like having more members of the team participate in the match. And I remember my prediction. I was leaning towards Bailey's team taking the victory, but turned out Bianca's team ended up victorious, with Becky Lynch picking up the final pinfall from, I believe it was a leg drop off near the top of the cage. So overall, the women's match was pretty amazing. Both teams had their moments and their advantages, even though Bianca's team was the advantage. And for my first time watching a War Games match, it was pretty interesting. But I, for one, would need to see these War Games matches more often just to get like more familiar with them. So, but for my first one, again, the women did pretty well for themselves. Okay, the next match here, and I can safely say this that if there was a Slammy Awards this year, this match here would definitely be candidate for match of the year: AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. No question, this match was nothing short of phenomenal. Pardon the pun, but it definitely was. I mean, I can't remember if I've ever said this that often, but when the two competitors know each other so well and have a long history with each other, then they know each other's moves so well, then that always makes for at least a great match, if not an incredible match. And no doubt, both superstars had their highlights and their moments. Like, there's no question this would be definitely a top, like if they were going to do like best matches of this year, no doubt this match would be in the top five, if you ask me. And I remember saying too that I'd be happy with um, any any one of them picking up the victory, because I have a loyalty towards both superstars. So I'm happy for the phenomenal one picking up the victory. And I mean, if I can remember correctly, too, I don't think there was very much interference when it comes to the Judgment Day and the OC. From Devin, if John Cena actually decides to return, can't you imagine he shows up to the show unannounced and letting them know he will break Rick's record ASAP? Like, yo, Ric Flair, it's my turn now. Well, if that happens, I'll be totally disgusted, because if Cena would be stupid enough to say something like that, then in my eyes, that would be a total show of disrespect. I mean, you know, I mean, as much as I dislike Cena, he wouldn't be the type of guy to show any sort of disrespect to a caliber superstar like Ric Flair. But if that ever does happen again, it would be really really stupid. But as far as I'm concerned, I would not look forward to any kind of a John Cena return. No thanks. Nah. Okay, so back to my Survivor Series opinions. Next match was or result was Ronda Rousey defeated Shotzi to retain the SmackDown Women's title. And this was my first correct prediction, flat out. Um, I've always said I respect Ronda Rousey's skill in the ring, and you know, with submission, more power to brother technician, she's got it all. And I would, you know what, I'm going to go out on a limb, and it may be still pretty early, but I would go out and say that somewhere in a few years' time, she'd be nominated for the WWE Hall of Fame. She's that good, and she's set her mark so well in the small time that she's been on the roster, and definitely a surefire Hall of Famer, no doubt. I'm sure. From what I remember, again, I'm sure Shotzi gave her best as well, and but not enough. Not enough for the baddest woman on the planet, and they call her that for a reason. What's this here? From Devin as well. I like Cena, but I don't see how he beats his record. That's right, Devin. Now you're finally seeing it. Yeah, I just don't see it. Charlotte probably would retire for a bit because of that and take a breather. Well, now that we're talking about Charlotte, I for one miss her. I would love for her to come back. Maybe as a surprise entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble match coming up the end of January. And for what it's worth, and for the record too, this month usually would have been the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view premium live event, but it seems like that is not going to go on. You know, I honestly don't know why, but this year, a couple of the premium live events pay-per-views have been uh, have been taken out, including TLC. I don't know why. I mean, TLC was a pretty amazing pay-per-view. One tables match, one ladders match, uh, uh, just with chairs, and then uh, the whole thing together. TLC. I don't know why they're taking it out, but nonetheless. And Devin also says, I would like to see another Ronda match. She's a badass for sure. Oh, yeah, no question. Now, here's a question for you, Devin, and for anyone else who may be watching. Who do you all think now should be Ronda Rousey's next challenger? Um, I mean, I'm thinking of this now, and don't say Liv Morgan. Okay, fine. If you want to say Liv Morgan, fine. I can't stand her, but and to be honest, I can't even think of anyone off the top of my head. I can't even answer my own question at this point. But I guess no question, whoever it is will have deserved it. And yeah, and again, I'm gonna miss the TLC event. It was a nice little segue. Like in between, of course, Survivor Series and the Rumble. But I'm definitely, I don't know about you all, but I'm definitely looking forward to the Rumble. I always have. Always been one of my more favorite pay-per-views. Devin says here, maybe Becky or Alexa or Maurice. Oh, come on. Yeah, Becky Lynch is a good suggestion. Ronda needs to do a match with Maurice. I don't know about that, Devin, but definitely Becky Lynch is a good choice. And I hate to say this to you there, Devin, but I disagree with the Alexa choice. I would go for Asuka. Yeah, give Asuka another title shot. Yeah, I remember she was Raw Women's Champion for quite a while. So if she can get a SmackDown Women's title match, why not? Just I don't know, somewhere along the line, bring Asuka over SmackDown and give her a title shot there. Why not? Okay, so back to my Survivor Series opinions. This well, Alexa's crazy. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, she was definitely the craziest when she was with Bray Wyatt, of course. But she ain't being Ronda. That's right, she ain't being Ronda. Yeah, definitely, definitely a good competition for Ronda Rousey would be someone who, of course, is pretty good in submission. So like whenever, hopefully sooner than later, if Natalia comes back sooner than later. Oh, I have three viewers. I have three viewers. Yeah, if Natalia comes back anytime soon, would be a great match. And if we've seen lately, of course, Shayna Baszler in the corner of Rousey, but who knows? There could be a backstab sooner than later, and like every other woman on the roster, I'm sure Shayna Baszler would love a title shot. So we may see a backstab. So you never know, and that would definitely be an amazing match. At least a singles match or triple threat, fatal four way, whatever works. And I would say my top picks for Challenger, now that I think of it, Asuka, Shayna Baszler, or a returning, maybe a returning Charlotte. It's anyone's guess. I would like to see Paige come back with one more match, but she retired along. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about Paige myself, or Alicia Fox for that matter. They did nothing for me. I would like to see these. Yeah, yeah, that might be an interesting match, but that's not not so much, honestly. Um, yeah, this next Survivor Series result was my least favorite point. Austin Theory becoming the new United States champion by defeating Seth freaking Rollins and the almighty Bobby Lashley. This was what I wanted to have in the league. I almost I remember saying to myself, "You've got to be kidding me!" Like I was just pretty much disgusted. But you know what? It is a great boost for Theory's character. You know, he's not so brash anymore. He's actually holding himself pretty well and better than when he was holding Money in the Bank or his lunchbox, if you will. He is a better overall better competitor now that he's champion. I have to admit it, but the result itself I was not happy with. I was going for either Lashley becoming champion or Rollins retaining, so wasn't great. All right, and main event time. We all felt oozy as the Bloodline picked up the victory in the men's War Game match against Brawling Brutes. Yeah, there's no question when Sami Zayn gave the low blow to KO, he definitely, if you will, showed his true colors and his loyalty where it lies, and he's definitely now not just an honorary Oos, but the Oos, if you will. And I don't know about you all, but I find it I find it sort of interesting and almost kind of strange now as to how Jey Uso has finally come around and accepted the fact that Sammy's not going anywhere and he's gonna stick to the bloodline for at least a little while. Who knows? God forbid something happens. At least between now and maybe I don't know about between now and the Rumble. Maybe between now and we'll see. But at least for now, Sami Zayn is the uh, not honorary Uso, but um, the if you will. Definitely felt Uso there. Okay, from Devin again. My top 5 dream matches are The Rock versus Roman, Dominic versus Seth, Goldberg versus The Miz, Maurice versus Natalia, and Raquel versus Stephanie. Oh my, those are some interesting dream matches there, Devin. But to be honest, I haven't thought that far in advance when it comes to dream matches that I would want to see for this coming WrestleMania. Maybe like when uh, I'll have an idea as to who I'd like to see. But those would be some interesting matches. I mean, I can right off the bat, if there was like a Gold versus the Miz, I could definitely see the Miz getting his ass kicked by Goldberg, and maybe less than 5 minutes, just like when Goldberg and the brother 2016 Survivor Series was a part of. And yeah, definitely that would be a butt whipping for sure. The Rock versus Roman. Well, we all know there's rumors flying around when it comes to that, and again, we never know. Dominic versus Seth. Yeah, I mean, that would definitely refresh a rivalry that was, I believe, at least over a year ago. You know, when Dominic was still a face. You know, like in the shadow of Rey Mysterio, if you will. But then, of course, now these days, the tables have turned, and of course, Dominic's part of the Judgment Day, and Seth seems to be the one of the newest fan favorites. Okay, what else we got from Devin here? Cena versus Rock again for the third time. Yeah, I mean, maybe that'd be interesting. Who knows? We all know Rock would kick Cena's ass again, just like the last time. Actually, John would won the first time before, then The Rock won too. Can't you imagine if Rock kicks his ass one day? Well, I'll throw this in for you then, Devin. I would love it if The Rock comes out on top, because, like I've always said, I cannot stand Cena. The only thing I respect about Cena is what he's done for charity, for Make a Wish. But besides, no, no, I would if it, and it's a big if. If that happens, I would. I'll go out and say that The Rock would come out on top. If you smell what I'm cooking, I can't do the people's eyebrow. I've tried, but I can't do it. Okay, I'm going to move along here to views and opinions and match points about this past Monday's Raw. I thought you said you're cool with Cena. No, no, I'm not. I mean, I have seen a couple of Cena's movies, but even those weren't great. No, he's not a good actor, and he wasn't great in the ring, in my opinion. So no, not really. Okay, but like I said, I'll move on here to Monday Night Raw, and the first match we have here was Rhea Ripley against and of course that was a rematch from Survivor Series games. They were both part of their respective teams in War Games. So I wrote here, would have been better without Dominic on the outside. And I've always said it makes for such a better match if there's not so much outside interference or, for that matter, distractions by like other members of factions. So definitely would have been better if Ripley would have just showed up on her own. And I also remember too, there were a lot of points where Rhea would be like shooting off her mouth, and she'd be like, "Oh, who do you think you are?" And you think you're better than me, and all that stuff. And Yim finally says something and say, "Oh, you talk too much," right? So it was kind of interesting. You don't see that often, especially with the women. Actually, you still see more of the guys being more brash than the women. But that's why I like Rhea, because not only is she tough and powerful, but she's got a mouth that she can get away with. And I always admired anyone like that. They could say things and get away with them. So it was all funny, like this, what I call this war of words during this match. Um, this match ended up being a no contest because there was both Dominic and AJ Styles got involved and interfered. So again, uh, like I said, I've always loved AJ, but I was not happy about all the interference. It was a great match to kick off the show, but again, the outside interference just killed it. When you think WWE 2K23 release, I heard rumors about the well, well, Devin. The only thing I know about WWE 2K video games is they're usually actually. I've noticed they're released not in March, not that early in the year, but they're actually usually released around like October time. Like just in time for the holiday season. So I would guess like mid to late October, most likely. And for that matter, I miss those days. I used to play WWE video games on PlayStation. I remember the very first PlayStation. Um, I played a couple of WWE games. If it's true or not true, I can't wait for it anyway. I already got it. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so I would definitely guess mid to late October for the next video game release. At least that's what I've noticed anyway. Okay, with this interference from AJ and Dominic, it actually turned out to be it turned into a match with the OC versus the Judgment Day. So that involved, let's see, yeah, that involved Rhea and Balor and Dominic against Maya Yim, Styles, and Gallows. Was it Anderson? Oh yeah, Anderson was involved too. Oh, it was all four of them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My bad. It was all four of them. All four members of the OC against all four members of Judgment Day. First move I've noticed. I wrote here an ouch moment. Snap suplex by Gallows on Balor. You know, a suplex hard enough as it is, but a snap suplex, like, that's even faster. You're literally snapped from the ground and thrown back, and you might as well call it whiplash. So that's I definitely found that to be an ouch moment. Yeah, I liked the points in the match where Gallows was matched up against Priest, because both guys got the size and power advantage to each other. So that made for some excellent points during the match. Um, I wrote here excellent teamwork for Judgment Day, backbreaker by Balor into a leg drop by Priest on Anderson. So I've always said interpretation of two or three moves into one is amazing, and as long as you can count on your partners to help you out, then you're in good shape. So that was amazing teamwork for the Judgment Day, and um, I wrote here, I liked how Rhea was so confident in joining the 3 count on Anderson by Dominic after delivering the Three Amigos. Like, that's her brashness again. She was so sure that after Dominic delivered the Three Amigos that he was going to pick up the victory, but that wasn't to be. So she turns around and almost snaps her head back. She's like, "What? What? What? That was a three. That was a three." So it, it it was almost funny at that point. Then I have here Styles Clash attempt by Balor on Anderson. Would have liked to see delivery. Yeah, I've always said too that when other superstars sort of try to rub it into their opponents to deliver their signature moves, or for that matter, their finishing moves, that always makes for a highlight of a match. And it was only an attempt; it was a failed attempt, but I would have liked to see it delivered. Balor sort of rubbing it in AJ's face. Oh, I can do your move too, right? So that I would have liked to see a delivery. Then I have here, yeah, Maya Yim did something interesting to Rhea. She delivered it looked almost like a Kevin Owens cannonball into the corner to Rhea, and again, different superstars and interpretations of different moves always makes for more exciting highlights. So I found that interesting. Then I have here a wow moment, power slam by Mia Yim on Balor. And then, of course, I'm sure a lot of you may have gotten to think about at least a week or 2 weeks ago when gave a power slam to Luke Gallows on the outside of the ring. What's that by Devin? 101. Oh wow! Congrats, you and CJ. You two made it, and hopefully you all getting 200 subscribers. Thank you, Devin. Yes, thank you, Devin, and to everyone who's been watching and who has subscribed. We definitely hope to make it to 200, and it'd be amazing, and feel pretty good. The where we're at, but we'll definitely welcome more people. Okay. Well, match ends by Rhea giving the riptide to Mia Yim, and that picks up the victory for Judgment Day. Um, in a way, actually, it was sort of a prelude to War Games. Like you had the two factions against each other, and uh, obviously both Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, the last shows before a premium live event pay-per-view, are always exciting. So um, definitely, an awesome way to kick off the show. Devin says, I'm behind y'all. I got 62 subscribers and on my way to 100 as well. Oh, way to go, Devin. Okay, maybe I'll take a look at your YouTube channel, perhaps. Okay, and I wrote down a thought here, like before the next match. If I recall correctly, the Bloodline was doing some kind of promo. Sammy was running his mouth again, and lately during the Bloodline promos, I would personally look over at Solo Sikoa, and he's just standing there like a statue. And I've noticed myself thinking, you know what? Somewhere along the line, he's just gonna snap and either knock Sammy out of his boots or, God forbid, knock his brothers out of their boots. Like, of course, both Usos are welcoming Sammy into the bloodline more than ever now. And I'm just looking at Solo, and he has this look on his face, like, hey, come on, I'm the real blood here. I'm your brother, not Sammy. So I don't know about you guys, but I see something brewing again within the bloodline. Somewhere along the line, sometime between now and WrestleMania, maybe there may be a breakaway from family's shadows, if you will, when it comes to Sokoa. So you never know. It's anyone's guess, but definitely, my people say that something's not kosher there, right? And yeah, very true. That's some wild shit going on. I don't blame you. You're right. Yeah, it's obvious the way Sokoa has been looking upon both Usos and Sammy. You never know. Something could happen. Something could brew. Okay, so let's go on to the next match we have here. We have the returning Street Profits. We have the returning Street Profits against the Alpha Academy, and yeah, it was great to see the Profits returning. Of course, Montez Ford was injured for quite a while. I remember seeing him with like a cast boot on one of his feet and legs, and don't remember if it's the right or left one, but great to see the Profits back. They're growing on me slowly. They're fun to watch. And I noticed that when Otis was one-on-one with Ford, Otis was in control, but despite that, Ford was holding himself pretty good. Absolutely no ring rust, and if you didn't know, you couldn't really tell that he was injured for quite a while before. So yeah, so Ford held his ground pretty well for just returning after an injury. And one of the first moves I've noticed was a springboard into a Northern Lights suplex by Gable. Turns into a pinfall attempt on Ford. Once again, two moves into one. Gable's an amazing wrestler, and his skill is almost unmatchable. He knows what he's doing, and uh, definitely definitely held his ground too. Um, and then I wrote here a big time wow moment. Ford with a power slam on Otis. Of course, again, not showing any ring rust, and to be able to, of course, lift a big guy like Otis is impressive, and just an overall amazing move. Definitely the highlight of the match for sure. And then so the match ends by and this was great to see too with Ford and Dawkins returning. To see the From the Heavens move. That move has always, for as long as I can remember, it's always amazed me, because just the height as to how high Ford gets from top. He's got to be at least 10 in the air. It's crazy, and that move is amazing. That from that frog splash, and with that, the Profits picked up the victory. Which really didn't surprise me much because, let's face it, most of the time when a single superstar or team, for that matter, returns, then their first match back, they're most of the time given the victory anyway. So it really didn't surprise me. And for that matter, the Academy, they haven't won as many of their matches recently as any time before. So they seem to be on a losing streak in one way or the other. Devin says, hopefully WWE comes back to my city again. Last time they came, that was insane. Well, out of curiosity then, Devin, where are you? Where is your city? Like I said, in my city, Toronto, Canada, I'm getting a house show here in 4 weeks' time. And then well, actually less than 2 months after that, I will be attending Friday Night SmackDown and the Elimination Chamber Premium Live Event pay-per-view in Montreal on February 17 and 18. I am really looking forward to that. I can't believe it. From USA, Pennsylvania. Well, you know what? Hang in there, Devin. WWE comes very often to Pittsburgh and of course Philly. As a matter of fact, I just remembered. Actually, this coming Monday night's Raw, I believe, will be from Pittsburgh because they announced that apparently it's going to be Kurt Angle's birthday, and he's of course from Pittsburgh, so there's going to be a little birthday celebration, I guess, which I don't care much about because Kurt Angle was never really one of my favorites, but should be a fun little segment. Okay, and next match we have here from last week's Raw, and we finally got to see this. I was very happy with this. We finally got to see Dexter Lumis in a sanctioned match against The Miz. It's about time. One of the first things that came to mind as I was watching Lumis in action, and you all can agree or disagree with me, whatever you want. He is a mix of, I wrote down here, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Randy Orton, and little flashback, Psycho Sid. The sneaky, the striker, the sort of badass idea. So it's like you got those three superstars again: Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Randy Orton, and Psycho Sid all mixed into one. Yeah, no question about it. When it comes to his move sets, his overall technicality in the ring, and just also overall the way he presented himself, and it was an amazing match. And and uh, I'm not going to say no pun intended because there is pun intended. I wrote here an awesome moment. It was a diving elbow through the table by Loomis, and I remember that being outside the ring. It was like, yeah, they were going into the crowd, and there was a table set up there, like in between the barricades there, and Loomis was sort of, as he always has been, he was taunting the Miz, and he eventually delivered a diving elbow. So that was an amazing moment. And then I have here a choke slam type move by Loomis into a vice grip submission, earns victory and a WWE contract. So there you go again. Interpretation of two moves into one. Great job by Loomis. An amazing match. And poor Miz, he really didn't have much of an advantage. He was just taken overwhelmed too much by how Loomis was doing overall in the match, and he just didn't seem to have his thoughts together. And if you ask me, thanks to that, Loomis was able to pick up the victory. So it'll definitely be interesting to see more of what Loomis can do in the ring. Okay. So the next match we have here was Dakota Kai against Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae was coming back from a few weeks. I believe she had an injury. You know what? I don't know about you guys, but I think Dakota Kai shines better as a singles competitor. But of course, we're all used to her being a member of Damage Control. But I like her attitude more as a singles competitor. Like she doesn't get a chance to present herself as much as being being in a tag team, much less being a singles competitor. So it was neat to see overall what she can do as a singles competitor. Yeah, she's a much better fighter as a member of Damage Control because we're all used to that. But in terms of her receiving, much better as a singles competitor. Okay, there was a new move I saw here. Bridge suplex into a pin attempt by Candice. So, I for one, I'm used to seeing, of course, a fisherman suplex into a pin, or or something that Chad Gable does. He does like a belly, sort of like a belly to belly suplex, but then he bridges into a pin attempt. So that I'm used to, but this was sort of a different interpretation of those moves, and I found that interesting. It's always interesting to see brand new moves. If you can pinpoint how similar they are to other moves, that's always interesting. And then the match ends by a neck breaker off the second rope into pinfall. Gives Candice the win. Um, when you can do the more impactful moves, with the ropes in the way, that's always amazing, and good for Candice to pick up the victory. And again, and Dakota had her moments again, not worrying about the other members of Damage Control, being able to showcase her own talents, made for a great match, and again, good for Candice. Okay, looks like we have main event time here. Last match from last Monday's Raw was Kevin Owens against Jey Uso. And just like I said about the first match, I wasn't crazy about the rest of the faction staying at ringside, so I wasn't crazy about having the rest of the bloodline being outside the ring, because this actually would have been a much better match if the other members of the bloodline were not outside the ring, much less, if I'm not mistaken, they did end up interfering. Yeah, so yeah, this match would have been more interesting with the rest of the Bloodline and KO Survivor Series team as lumberjacks. Yeah, yeah. This actually should have been a lumberjack match. Not so much because both superstars would have wanted to get away from each other, but it would have been an interesting prelude into the Survivor Series War Games. To have the rest of their Survivor Series teams as lumberjacks and make it a lumberjack match. Instead of like flat out interfering, at least have them there, but have them there for a decent purpose. I have an ouch moment here. More than usual impact with an Irish whip into corner by Jay. I've always said the Irish whip is a very painful move, but if you're able to deliver even more impact than usual, then you'll definitely do more damage to your opponent. And Jey Uso was able to do just that to KO. So that was very well done. And then I have here a splash attempt by Jay counters into a stunner by Owens to pick up the win, despite a trip up to KO on apron by Sokoa. So it's bad enough that you get distracted by any outside interference, but if you can counter that into then that is so. That was done by KO, and you know what? Now that I think of it, he definitely deserved the victory for that effort. So so last Monday's Raw was overall a good show, and you know, like I said, this coming Monday's Raw apparently will feature a birthday celebration for WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle, as it's coming from his hometown of Pittsburgh. So Devin, there, if you're close to Pittsburgh and there's still tickets available, treat yourself. You know, depending on where you are, and should be an amazing show, of course. Okay, so we'll move on to SmackDown now. And the first match from uh, last night's SmackDown featured Sami Zayn against Sheamus, which from War Games, of course, this time being a singles match. First one I noticed here, hip toss attempt by Sami runs into a Sheamus clothesline, and when Sheamus delivers a clothesline, you might as well be. It looked like Sami was like getting hit out of his boots or getting knocked out of his boots, and a Sheamus clothesline is amazing. Like he's got to be one of the better wrestlers who delivers a clothesline. So pretty amazing counter there by the Celtic Warrior, if you will. And then there was a DDT off the second rope by Sami, but of course, thanks to outside interference by the Usos. So, I mean, if I remember correctly, it looked like Sami had the hold ready to go anyway, so he really didn't need the distraction by the Usos, but it worked out for him anyway. So it was delivered and pretty well done. And then there was a flying cross body by Sami, but it was countered into an Irish curse backbreaker by Sheamus. So and there's no question the counter moves take a lot of strategy and skill, and definitely Sheamus's experience showed in in that series of or at least that one counter. So very very well done once again by Sheamus. And then I have a wow moment here. A white noise attempt on second rope turns into a sit down power bomb. So there's no question I like counters. um, I guess I tend to pinpoint a lot of counters because they're just again overall amazing. And and Sheamus has done that a lot lately. Like his more powerlifting moves and high impact moves, he's taken them up the top rope. You know, like whether it's the Irish Curse backbreaker or White Noise especially. He's taken that more. He's taken that more up the second rope, even the top rope, and you know that's a highly impact move as it is. But whenever he's successful in delivering the White Noise from second or top rope, that definitely helps in his advantage. Okay, so then I have here Alabama Slam attempt by Sheamus turns into a super kick by once again a distraction by Jey Uso, and that gives Sammy the victory. So it literally made it look like it made like the fans and the commentators literally jump out of their seats to finally have Jey Uso help out Sammy in picking up a victory, and definitely surprised me too. But you know, like after seeing War Games, at the same time, it really didn't surprise me because again, it looks like Jey Uso has finally come around to see that Sammy is again not only not the honorary Uso anymore, but an Uso. Sammy Uso, right? Right, sure. Okay. So then the next match we have here from last night's SmackDown is Shayna Baszler against Emma. To be honest, I don't think much of Emma because I don't even remember her first WWE run. It was a few years ago, but I'll say pretty much the same thing about Shayna Baszler as I say about Ronda Rousey. I respect her skills and, of course, her submission. You know, I like the moniker submission magician. That's a very good name for Shayna. So she's amazing and she's tough. You know, I always like to see any of the women who are able to at least look or overall be more tough than for much less some of the guys. You know, it's a it's about damn time, right? So you know, as a woman myself, I'm always happy to see more of the female superstars being able to show their toughness and powerfulness, you know, to just to do their best and do an amazing job. So we have here, there was a head scissors attempt by Shayna into a side Russian leg sweep by Emma. There you go again, counters. Forgive me. Please, I want to apologize for being a broken record if I am, but once again, counters are amazing. So, and the skill it takes and the concentration as well that it takes is incredible. There was a neck breaker off the second rope by Emma, and again, when you have the ropes in the way, um, you know, delivering a move like the backbreaker or even a neck breaker, and you got the ropes in the way, if you still get the impact that's needed from those moves, then you're okay. Then you're doing a great job. So the match ended by a clutch submission by Shayna to give her the victory. No doubt Emma had her highlights at her moments, but there's no question Shayna, excuse me, Shayna, Shayna and Emma, Shayna, forgive me. That was a slip up. I apologize, but a funny slip up, I hope. Okay, so the submission gives Shayna the victory, and again, Emma had her highlights and moments, but Shayna seemed to overpower Emma in the long run, and that definitely gave her the victory. Okay, next match we have here is it was Kofi Kingston against Gunther, in a non-title match. Of course, Gunther is the current Intercontinental Champion, but this was a non-title match. So the first thing I noticed was Gunther had Kofi in the corner, and no, actually, I apologize. Kofi had no. I'm sorry. I apologize. Gunther had Kofi in the corner and gave him a slap, like it's one of those slaps heard around the world. Like you might as well be hit by a frying pan. That's how impactful like a chop or a slap on the chest by Gunther. That's how impactful his slaps or chops are. So those were crazy. Next move I noticed, should I say, a trip up on Kofi, outside interference by Ludwig Kaiser, eventually brings Braun Strowman to ringside to even up against other members of Imperium. So even though they're and again I hated this too, outside interference by the rest of Imperium. Even though there was two of them, of course, it was interesting to see Braun Strowman come down and even the odds at least a little bit. There was obviously it's only one of Strowman, but with his size and power, he of course can be matched with the other two guys from Imperium. So that made it interesting. Um, and then I saw here Kofi was able to kick out from the power bomb, which had very little impact. Now, a power bomb, is a lot like a lot of the suplexes, very impactful. But I don't know about you all, but I noticed that Gunther didn't have as much impact as I'm sure he wanted from that power bomb. So it gave Kofi a chance to be able to kick out. Because actually, now that I remember it, if Gunther had the more impact that he needed from that power bomb, I honestly think he would have picked up the victory with that. Then I noticed this sort of new move by Gunther that gave him the victory. They called it Last Symphony, so slam type move that eventually got him the penalty, which again didn't surprise me because uh, you know I don't know about you all, but we're really not expecting any sort of singles run by Kofi anytime soon. Because if you would obviously if Kofi would have got the victory, it would probably earn him a Intercontinental title shot somewhere down the line. But then of course Gunther has a title match coming up with. We'll get to that actually right now here. This last match eventually determines Gunther's next challenger for the IC title. So it's the World Cup finals with Santos Escobar of Legado del Fantasma against Ricochet. And yeah, with all the outside interference that I had mentioned, not only from SmackDown but from Raw as well, I just noticed it was about time that the referees made a move to kick out the other or to eject all the other members of Legado del Fantasma out of the ringside area to make it a fair one-on-one match. So it was about time that was done. Although, if I'm not mistaken, I think Zelina Vega stuck around to do commentary. Oh, hello there, Bell's OFW channel. How you doing? Good to see you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, so that worked out well in terms of what the referee finally did. Yeah, this match when I first heard it advertised or when it was first determined that it was going to be Escobar and Ricochet. I expected a very like high flying type of match. You know, from what I remember, what I've seen from Escobar, you know, his first few matches on SmackDown, I expected a very well even high flying match with Ricochet, but what surprised me was that there wasn't as many like high flying moves. Like even from Ricochet, you know, we've gotten to know Ricochet as more a high flyer, high impact type of wrestler, but it really surprised me that there wasn't as many moves like that. There was actually more like striker type moves, especially from Escobar, being the slightly bigger competitor, not by much, but he's more like a striker technician, a little more of a muscle type, actually, if you will. Not so much, but compared to Ricochet, most guys are overall bigger. So in a way, it disappointed me, but it was still a pretty well even match. I mean, even I'm sure even Ricochet himself was sort of thrown off by you know, not being able to match the high flying aspect with Escobar, so he was able to switch gears, if you will, and get into more the technician and striker type moves to at least have a chance against Escobar. So we'll see if it eventually worked out. Um, yeah, okay. So then I have a wow moment here. Suicide dive through the ropes by Escobar, sending Ricochet into the announce table. And you know what? There's no question you would expect a move like a suicide dive by Ricochet, but with with the more powerful and strategist that Escobar, it was very surprising to see uh, the more high flying move like the suicide dive, something on a high flyer from let's say Kobe Kingston, right? So to see a move like that from Escobar was amazing, and to eventually get Ricochet into the table there, the announce table, that delivered even more impact than the suicide dive itself. Okay, then we have here. I wrote down an awesome move, superplex off top rope by Ricochet, and those are always amazing. Whoever delivers that, a smaller guy, a bigger guy, doesn't matter. A very highly impact move, and that's actually too. Now that I think of superplexes more, you would see that more from the high flying guys. So Ricochet to deliver that was amazing. And then I have an ouch moment here. It looked like both superstars were attempting either a maybe like a collision or maybe like a clothesline, but they ended up hitting each other's foreheads together. So that looked cool. So I was like, "Ooh, ouch!" So definitely an ouch moment there. It left both superstars flat on their back for quite a while. I think the ref may have gotten up to at least a 5 count, maybe at least a 5 or a 6 count before one of them made it to their feet first. Then I have another wow moment here. Hurricanrana off top of the barricade by Escobar. You know, it's hard enough delivering that kind of move off, let's say, the second or top rope, but to show the balance on top of the barricade and to deliver that move was pretty amazing. Then the match ends by Ricochet giving a not a 450 but a 630 splash off the top rope, and this gives Ricochet the victory, the World Cup trophy, and the #1 contendership. So he's going to be Ricochet's going to get his revenge, if you will, against Gunther for the Intercontinental title. Now, here's a little opinion poll here, sort of a dual uh, opinion poll. Do you all think Ricochet will get his revenge and regain the Intercontinental title from who he lost it to Gunther? Or do you all think Gunther will retain? And also another little opinion poll: when do you all think this match should take place? Either on a SmackDown between now and, let's say, the Rumble, or maybe at the Rumble itself. And, and you know what? I'm just thinking about this now. This this Intercontinental title match should happen with somehow being able to keep the other members of Imperium, at least outside the ring or away from the ring completely. So maybe a steel cage, maybe like a stipulation: if there's outside interference by Imperium, then automatically that gives Ricochet the victory and the IC title. So something like that. So again, do you all think that should be on a SmackDown sometime between now and the Rumble, or should that be at the Rumble? So, so with that, that's gonna end my time here, folks, for my Raw and SmackDown opinions and reviews from this past week. I would like to once again thank you all for joining in. Thank you to especially Devin, very vocal here tonight. I appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who has, once again, thank you to everyone who's subscribed to our channel and tuning in. So for next weekend's Retro RawDown, I should be back with you all. Most likely I will be flying Sokoa solo once again. Hopefully CJ will be back sooner than later. I know for one I miss him. I mean, I'm going to be honest with all of you. These shows are fun to do. Flying solo Sokoa, solo, but they're also fun to do with CJ. So CJ, if you're out there, brother, bro, I miss you. Hopefully sooner or later we can do a show together. But whenever you're ready, I'm ready. But definitely, yeah, most likely next week I will join you all again for Retro RawDown episode number 15. And of course, by then I will be 3 weeks away from my house show here in my hometown of Toronto. So, okay, so look, you all be well, be safe, be healthy, and keep kicking ass and keep feeling oozy. I'm Nat, on the boat, best of all time. You all take care, and we'll see you soon. Good night.